John joining us now, the big get, and they don't come much bigger than Pedro Martinez, Hall of Famer, 10th season with TBS, first full season this year as they expanded their package and added Tuesday nights. Pedro, thanks for joining us, first off. And then the big news this week from Turner is Charles Barkley, 10-year deal. You get a 10-year deal soon too?
I don't know about that. I'm going day by day as we attempt to finish this postseason. I don't worry about that. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get a chance to explore new things. I never thought, to be honest, and you guys know me really well from my days in baseball. I never thought I would see myself on television working, but when it comes to baseball, I'm like I'm a geek. I love baseball in all aspects, and the good thing about this is that Turner has allowed me to be myself. They allow me to continue to think like a player, continue to use my mind in the different situations, continue to learn, and they pay me for something I love to do, which is always analyze baseball, analyze the players, analyze situations, see what others have in mind that I wasn't expecting, and as well some of the mistakes they make, how I'm able to pick them up and kind of try to correct it by saying it through this platform.
Well, Pedro, our goal here is to get you closer to that Barkley money.
Chuck is a special breed, Chuck is a special breed. I hope that one day I can become someone like him, but I still believe I have a lot to learn. I have to develop myself a little bit more, and I'm humbled to be here and extremely grateful.
Well, Pedro, I want to go back. We're a sports media podcast, so we're media geeks as well. Your playing career, what a career! New York, Boston, Philly. I can't think of three tougher media markets to play in. What was the toughest?
I would say Boston. Boston was the toughest because Boston is very educated, and Boston is the only city where I have seen a radio station 24/7 talking about whatever sports there is in Boston. Remember, Boston has a lot of college kids. Boston is really passionate about their Red Sox, their Patriots, their Bruins, Celtics, everybody. Boston is very knowledgeable of each one of their sports. Before you get to one of the stadiums, they know exactly what they need to look for from the athletes that they have. It is really difficult to fool a fan in Boston, because if you are not aware of what's going on in Boston, the fans will remind you, and the radio station will let that fan know what they need to be looking for. I think Boston is so demanding, so passionate, and so knowledgeable that you are afraid to kind of go out there and go through the motions. You have to be on the edge every single day. You have to be 100% focused every time you go out there. Every time you go out there, you have to give yourself 100% to what you're doing. And if you don't, they will let you know when you're slacking. They will let you know in a heartbeat. The only thing that I think is really good about Boston is that they understand when you're not 100%, and they know it because the media will dig for it, and they somehow find out when you're not 100%, when you're making an extra effort to do well for Boston. And as far as difficulties in New York, Boston, or Philly, guess what? It's exactly what I needed, because I was passionate. I wanted the challenge. I wanted to face the best guys out there. I wanted to face the best team. I wanted to see everybody chanting, "Pedro, who's your daddy?" every time I took the mound, because it put me up to the highest level of competition that I had.
Pedro, your career speaks for itself. Hall of Fame career. I'm an Oriole fan. You used to frustrate me every time you took the mound. I think I don't think you lost a game to the Orioles in your career. Do you recall when you were in the middle of that media maelstrom where it was a storm and it was negative? And do you recall like when that happened and what you did to get out of it?
I do recall. The good thing about being in those type of situations, you guys know it, that I never was able to hide my thoughts, my feelings towards whatever situation there was. There were some misunderstanding. I don't think anybody ever imagined that I was the person I was once I took the uniform off. On my days to pitch, I did not want to have friends. I did not want to talk to anybody. I was just a team player, and I wanted to protect my players, and I wanted to do whatever it took to beat the opposition. But when it came to the media, I wasn't a big fan of having to say much. I wanted to just leave it up to you to realize what went on in the game, and I wanted you to ask me about the game. But when you're really honest and you're going to speak your mind and you're going to say what you're going to say, even if you're frustrated and you call the Yankees your daddy, I think the media loves it. I think the media appreciates an honest answer. And I was able to always give an honest answer and a true answer. I would not hide from answering whatever question you had. For me, not speaking to the media was difficult for some of them. For a guy like Chauncy, I didn't care. I didn't want to talk to Chauncy. But some of you guys that were gentlemen away from the microphone and the spotlight, I wanted to really give you an answer. Sometimes I just couldn't, because it would rub off the wrong way, or maybe the team and I were going to get into a fist fight. And that's not something I wanted. I always wanted to finish in a good way with whatever team I play for, and respect, the business part of it, which is the dark part of baseball. I was always respectful of that, and I understood what the media really dig for and what they wanted to hear. And I was really cautious to not get myself in more trouble than I was.
Now, Pedro, I covered the Mets and Yankees for many years. But the thing about Boston and the media up there, I felt like every one of those guys, every writer had a TV gig or a radio gig. They are multimedia stars, those guys.
Oh, those guys are so well prepared. Those guys are so such a veterans. Like you can pick up a young kid that just graduated he graduated from Harvard. He graduated from Boston University. Top colleges in the country. They are the best students and the best professionals out there. So they're really flexible. Like you can pick up anybody from Boston that went to college and somewhat studied probably anything, and they know a little bit of everything. And remember, Boston is very educated, and everybody that you pick from any career out there in Boston must be really well prepared. Great schools in Boston, great jobs and professionals all around Boston.
And you mentioned Dan Shaughnessy, who's the top. I think sports columnist, the Boston Glober. They have a bunch, but he's been there for a long time. You never spoke to him?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I must admit, he's a great columnist.
Yeah.
He wasn't the most positive columnist in Boston. And that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm a New York guy. He's known for not being the most positive guy. He doesn't have.
Oh my God! If you want to lose before you start a season, talk to Chauncy. But the Red Sox are gonna just collide. The curse of the Bambino, or the injuries, or whatever. How he looks. Chauncy was the most negative reporter I've ever met in my life, and he had the rights to probably be negative after 86 years waiting, and Chauncy probably waited for 40 of them, waiting to see a championship. I don't blame him for being negative, but man, something got to change someday. You have to kind of allow yourself to enjoy the game without probably having to suffer until the suffering came over. And Chauncey was one of those guys that was suffering even before we threw a pitch.
Yeah, 100%.
He was to that level of negativity.
Let me understand this too, this perspective, because having been in the clubhouse and like I covered Armando Benitez back in the day with the Mets, who was a very good closer, had trouble in big games. I always used to say to people, imagine you go to a foreign country, you do your job most of the time, let's say 95% of the time you do it well, and then you don't do the job well, and you see the back pages of the paper and it basically says you're a jerk, and it's a second language. I think that's people don't necessarily understand that. And just what advice do you give younger players who come from the Dominican or other Latin American countries and come to the United States and play baseball and have to deal with the media? And generally speaking, it's changed a little bit now. But back then, it was really on the player, not fairly, but it was on the player to learn English as opposed to the reporter to speak Spanish or a translator. So what's your advice to them?
I would just say, just try to be professional. We have a say in Latin America that each head is a world. There's nothing you can do with the way other people think. I don't think you need to be a jerk to a reporter just because he probably said something about you not performing. You have to respect that. I think that the way you are, your nature as a human being should never change. Baseball is baseball. If you limit yourself to just answering what went on in baseball and you give them an honest answer, they don't need to call you jerk because of that. They don't need to call you anything. They just need to respect you for what you are and what you did and the things that you needed to speak about. You don't need to get or take anything personal when the media writes it. Now, when they write it about you in a personal way, when they write it about your private life, it's totally different. That's not talking about baseball. So my suggestion to a young player that's being criticized or maybe, I don't know, being pampered by the media or celebrated by the media is to just keep himself like a professional and remember that private life has nothing to do with your performance on the field. And what they're digging to know is the reason why you're successful or not successful in the big leagues, and keep it at that. Once you leave the field, there's no business for anybody in the media. You have to behave by how you walk down the street, and that's the thing. As confrontational as I was always a role model citizen on the streets. I never mistreated anybody in the clubhouse, any workers, never disrespected anybody around me. Very protective when I was a player to my teammates. I would not allow ownership, anybody, coaches, or anybody to kind of get on a player without me being in front of it. I was very protective. I was very, overprotective sometimes of my teammates against the opposition too. I would not hide that. I would not deny that I hit people just on retaliation. If you didn't stop me on time and you said that was my brother, the one who hit me, I'm sorry, your brother was going to go down, because if you didn't explain to me why you were so pissed off about being hit, well, I was going to take matters into my hands. But I never did anything to offend a reporter in a personal way. I never did anything to disrespect them. I took their questions. I answered their questions. And that would be my suggestion. Just limit yourself to answering what you have to answer about your career, about your game, about, you being you in the field. But when it came to personal stuff, just don't. And don't do the same thing with the media. You respect them when they ask you the questions. You answer if you can. If you don't, just don't. If you don't understand it, please ask for a translator so you can have probably the best answer that that they expect.
Pedro, I got a quick question about one of those dust-ups.
Yes.
Don Zimmer.
Yes.
He comes running at you. I don't think you threw him down. I think you sort of got out of the way and he tripped. Did you ever talk to him afterwards? How is that? Did you ever develop any kind of relationship with him afterwards?
I tried to kind of in whatever way possible explain to him that even though I didn't feel like I deserved that, I didn't feel like I should have been in that situation. I wanted to kind of get close to him and explain to him that if he knew how much respect I had for him and how much I loved the game, we would have probably been the best friends in baseball, because I love baseball as much as he did. And I guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that because I still have the passion for the game. I still have the love. I haven't lose it. I will never lose it. And that is the one thing that Zim and I had in common. We both loved the game. We were passionate about it. I don't think he stopped to look at the situation. Men on first and second, ninth place hitter hitting Karim Garcia. It's a postseason game. I'm winning by 1 run. I'm struggling the entire game. I don't think he used his baseball IQ to read the situation before he decided to do what he did. He went by impulse. And it's the only thing that you can ask me in my entire career. If I regret, I would say totally, 100%. Having that incident with Don Zimmer is something that I would not want to see in my resume. And you know what? It's so ironic that everybody remembers that. As protective as I am of kids or, the child and the elderly people, that's one that I would love to erase from my entire life, not just the baseball, but my life in general. I don't want anybody to remember anything I did around that incident. And I think Zimmer took it with a lot of responsibility. I think he said it the right way. He apologized. I refused to apologize because I didn't feel like I owe an apology to anybody. I mean, I was put in that situation and I just reacted. I protected myself. I did not go after him. I did not do anything to be in that situation. If you analyze how important it is to beat the Yankees in a postseason game to try to get to the next level and the situation I am, I don't think I'm that dumb to go and try to hit the ninth place hitter and nonetheless hit him in the head. I never hit anybody in the head with a fastball. To be honest, at that point, I was just struggling, sore shoulder. I went out there, I was just getting by. And that ball just on a slide step that I tried to use to surprise Karim Garcia and throw his balance off. I dragged the ball and the ball went behind his head, but no intentions whatsoever. As much as I love hitting people in retaliation or because of disrespect, that one was not intentional. And it just happened.
Fair enough. Last one here for you. The idea of managing or coaching or owning a team, what when you look at what the future is for Pedro Martinez, what do you foresee?
Owning a team? Oh, believe me, I would love to be part of a team. I would love to be part of an organization and get myself dirty. Coaching, I do it partially with the Red Sox. I go there, especially in spring training or during the regular season when I'm allowed to. As you know, with COVID and the pandemic, we all were separated and only a certain amount of coaches could be there. But in a regular situation, I'll be in with the team every once in a while, spend the day. As the game were about to start, I would come up and take a shower and go back to the front office and watch the game from one of the suites. But I like doing a little bit with the team, but I don't think I have 162 in me to end the trouble and the spotlight and being there like every single day at 11 in the morning. No, I retired from baseball, from playing the game, because I wanted some rest. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be part of my family. And if I do that, I'm committed for 162 for a lot more time than I did as a player, for a lot less time with the family, and plus the travel and all that. I got enough of it. Becoming a manager, no, that's one other thing that would take you not only at 11 in the morning, but probably at 10 in the morning to the field, all night on the phone, all night emails, all night with so many people talking back and forth. When do you eat? When do you sleep? When do you have time for your family? No, I don't see myself doing that, even though I am very sharp when it comes to situations, understanding the game, understanding pitching, understanding how to be a coach.
You got to go because your guy at TBS, Jay Moskowitz, who turned set this up, a great PR guy, set this up. However, he's texting me, we got to go. But before you go, I quickly, because you got to get to your meetings for for the pregame show. Ding Dong Johnson. You got to tell us where that came quickly, just quickly, because you got to go, not because of us. You got to go. Ding Dong Johnson. What is that? Where does that come from?
Well, I used to have a coach, Jim Tracy. When you gave up like a long one, it was like a Ding Dong Johnson. That was like, God damn, Petey just gave up a ding dong. But that was a Ding Dong Johnson. That was a long one and a deep one. So he used to always say that was a Ding Dong Johnson when you gave up a long one. And every time I saw a homer from someone since then, I just went, wow, that's a Ding Dong Johnson. I remember Chili Davis taking me deep in one of the best games I've ever pitched in Yankee Stadium. And I was like, wow. And then I whispered myself inside of me, like, that was a Ding Dong Johnson. That was a long one. Like I stopped to watch it. Like it was so long, it was so hard that I called myself for a Ding Dong Johnson. And that's the rest of the story behind it. I just love like saying stuff like that comes out naturally. But I'm always thinking, whenever I see a homer, homers are so much fun to watch, not to give up. And I'm always looking on to see if I see one. Ding Dong Johnson.
All right. You didn't give up that many of them. Pedro, we appreciate you coming on the podcast. John's going to write some stories so you get a 10-year deal like Barkley.
It's coming, Pedro. It's coming.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. But I'm extremely grateful for them to giving me the opportunity to get into something new, something I never thought I would love. But they gave me a huge opportunity to use this platform to teach, to enjoy, to analyze, to keep myself sharp when it comes to baseball and analyzing the different situations that pop up every single day. You just never stop learning from baseball. If you want to learn something new every day, you just watch a baseball game. There's something that comes up every single day that you use to your knowledge, you use for learning. So if anybody loves baseball as much as I do, please watch baseball as much as you can.
You tell Jay we could have had you on for another hour, man. This was a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And at any point, if I have the time, I'll be more than happy to now cooperate with my colleagues like you guys, because I call you my colleagues. And one thing I want to say to you all, including Chauncey, I do have a lot more respect for what you do and the accountability that comes with it. You guys taught me a lot by, respecting how you went about your business, your entire careers. And now that I'm doing it, I realize how accountable, responsible, and professional you have to be when you write, when you speak, when you're on the spotlight. So my respect to you, and I can now say colleagues.
There you go.
We'll take that.
There we go. We're colleagues with Pedro Martinez. Thank you, Pedro.
All right. You have a nice day, you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.